Hey guys, a while back we visited Busan and we came across this really adorable store, so I thought I would take you inside with me. But first, I want to say thank you to Skillshare who is sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community filled with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Some of the class topics include painting with watercolors, kawaii drawing, brush lettering, and how to grow your Instagram and TikTok following. I recently took a class called Painting for Pattern Design, Create Botanical Patterns with Gouache and Photoshop with Angela Mackay, where you learn how to paint beautiful drawings and make them into a print on Photoshop. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes. It costs less than $10 a month for an annual subscription. The first 1,000 to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So this store is located near Gwangali Beach and my family and I just went for a weekend to hang out. We didn't do all the touristy things, and I do have a video talking about when I went to Busan to do the tourist thing, but for this trip we just kind of went to go to the beach, eat, hang out, go shopping, that kind of thing. And I'm starting to realize that I actually prefer those kinds of vacations over the kind where you have to like go and see every major tourist site there. It's a lot less stressful, especially when you have kids, and I'm doing things that I enjoy a lot more, like shopping at cute stores. So we just ran into the store, didn't even expect it, but it ended up being such a gem. It's right around the corner from Love is Giving, which is another store that I featured on my YouTube channel, and I'll link that video below if you guys haven't seen it. Anyway, if you watch my channel, you've probably seen shops like this. In Korea, they're called prop shops, and they sell a lot of fun and cute toys, not necessarily for kids, but for adults. So a lot of memorabilia. For me, when I was growing up, I loved the Care Bears. I always watched the Care Bears and Care Cousins movie, and I thought it was kind of scary actually, but I still liked it. A lot of stores will end up having like vintage items on display, but you can't actually buy them, so it ends up being more of like a museum. But the cool thing about this store is a lot of their items were available for purchase. They had a few things on the shelves like this, but for the most part they had things that you can buy, and surprisingly they had like this little corner with all the Sanrio stuff, which of course I loved. It wasn't really the biggest section of Sanrio stuff in the world, but I mean they had some things, and they had a lot of different characters. So, you know, Pom Pom Purine. I mean, I don't know to what extent this stuff was actually licensed, but really cute. I remember when I went to the Pom Pom Purine cafe in Harajuku, I saw that plate and I considered getting it, and since then I've always kind of thought about getting it or regretted not getting it, and I don't know why I didn't buy it in the store. I don't live in Japan anymore, and I really hope to be able to go back to that cafe someday. I hope it'll still be around. I mean, when travel opens up again, I kind of think that after visiting my parents, the first international place I go is going to be Japan, because I just love it so much, and I just want to go there and eat really good food and hang out and go shopping. I'm kind of torn between going somewhere new that I've never been and just going back to Japan because it's that awesome. So anyway, I discovered this gem in the back there. Can you guys see it? It's this My Melody McDonald's toy. I don't know if it's from... looks like it's from Japan, but I think they had it in other countries as well. And oh my gosh, I really wanted to get this. I don't know what I would use it for, but it just looked so cute. But the problem was, I think it was like $40 US or something like that, and I don't know, I couldn't justify buying it because I'm not really sure what I'd use it for. But now that I'm watching this video, I'm kind of regretting not getting it. On the other hand, it's kind of like, who pays for McDonald's toys? I mean, granted that My Melody basket is probably high-end collectible McDonald's item from Japan that you would have to pay extra for. It's not just something that you would get for free in your Happy Meal. But like, I remember when I was growing up, we had just baskets of McDonald's plastic toys that we collected over the time, and I'm sure that my mom has thrown them away since. But I mean, I bet there are people out there who collect those toys and actually pay money for them. And maybe if I remembered what some of them are, I might consider paying money for them too. But if you guys saw in my other shopping video at Jelly Bubble, which is also a vintage toy shop, she had a bunch of cute McDonald's toys with like Hello Kitty and Real Akuma. And I think she was selling them for maybe around $5 US. But anyway, I always want to clean out my kids' stuff and get rid of things. But walking through these kinds of stores makes me feel like, oh, maybe I should like hold on to things like their collection of Hatchimals when they grow up, because you know, I'm sure that it'll bring them back good feelings of nostalgia about their childhood and playing with one another. So I kind of want to just hold on to all of their treasured items for them. My mom did that with some of my things, but I think we had so much junk that she ended up throwing away a lot of stuff, and my mom is definitely a tosser. She's not a hoarder, whereas I am pretty much the opposite of that. I love collecting things like rocks, shells, stationery, stickers. I used to love the Smurfs too. I had a Smurfs bedspread and my room was like Smurfs themed when I was really young. I think it's kind of interesting how a lot of these characters end up coming back. Like they'll remake them, like My Little Ponies, and I think they remade the Smurfs, and they also remade the Snoopy Peanuts movies. So it's kind of like if you hold on to something for long enough, it'll come back and maybe your vintage item will be super cool at that point. I am at the age where a lot of things that were popular when I was growing up are now coming back into style, which is so weird because like when I was growing up, there was a time when bell-bottom jeans from the 70s came back, and that was such a long time ago for me. But I know that I'm old because some of the fashion that was in style when I was a teenager is now coming back, like the Y2K look with wide leg jeans that are kind of high-waisted. I think they're called bomb jeans, and like spaghetti strap tank tops. So it definitely makes me feel kind of old. So I think my audience age range is like 18, primarily 18 to 24, and then 24 to 34. And so let me know in the comments what you guys think. By the way, they were playing really catchy, loud Disney music at the store, and K-pop, which is why my daughter's dancing. Trolls, this is something else that has come back from my childhood. I used to love Trolls, but I think the new version of Trolls is much better with Princess Poppy and Branch. I think that was such a good movie series. When I grew up, those little Trolls dolls were popular, but I don't think they had a TV show or movie to accompany it. I know that I have a couple of viewers who are into The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I was trying to figure out what those skeleton heads were used for. I saw one at a store in Hongdae that was like part of the room decor, but I wasn't able to purchase it. And then they had this cute Nightmare stuff here, and I was thinking about getting that for one of my Patreons, but I ended up getting her a backpack, which you guys will see later in this video instead. By the way, wasn't that little Alice in Wonderland vignette so cute? I like how every corner of the store has like a different theme and a different display. I saw those glasses at Tokyo Disneyland. I wonder if those are authentic. I considered getting them, but I didn't get any for myself. So whoever designed this store really put so much thought into like every corner and setting up these little displays. I think that this is so fun. that's the backpack that I ended up getting from my Patreon, Bonnie. And this looks like something that you can win from a Japanese UFO catcher. Such a random collection of items. The Simpsons! I used to watch this show all the time. Okay, this Simpsons section was just so fun for me. I like how they did like a mock-up of their living room. So when my daughter Sienna was around 2 or 3, I didn't really want her to become one of those girls who were so into princesses and like everything was all about princesses. So I didn't let her watch the princess movies until she was like a little bit older, but I did let her watch Toy Story, and she really liked Toy Story a lot when she was younger. But eventually we opened up and like the whole princess thing is unavoidable, so she ended up being super into Frozen, and it was fine because she eventually grew out of it. But yeah, so this next area was super adorable. It was set up like a classroom, and they had like all kinds of nostalgic Korean items. If I grew up in Korea, maybe I would feel something for this, but I wasn't familiar with a lot of these things. However, I don't know, it just seemed super like retro and vintage and fun to me. These are all probably old style Korean candies and snacks. Kind of reminds me of the Miss Lee's restaurant or cafe in Incheon that I featured on my channel before. And this is Astro Boy. I know that my husband was into Astro Boy when he was a child, and yeah, I'm not super familiar with it, but why is this so cute? And I've definitely seen that green worm, the green and pink, I don't know what that is, a cricket or a worm or something, but when I was younger, my cousins lived in Korea and they would send us stuff every once in a while, and they sent me a box of crepas or pastel crayons with that character on it. I don't know if you guys saw that vintage K-pop poster up there, but there were a bunch of Korean girls who were in here talking about the old school K-pop stars. I don't know why, but this pencil case looks like something that I had when I was a child. And check out this video game console thing. I'm not sure why it's so low to the ground, but I saw one like that at the Miss Lee Cafe in Incheon. If you guys haven't seen my video of that cafe, then check it out. I'll link it in the description box or up in the corner. It's a really cool cafe. So this store also has an extensive section on accessories and clothes, and I thought I would just split that into another video. So stay tuned. I'll be doing part 2 of this video coming up. The retail space of the store is just actually pretty huge, especially for one of these small shops, but everything was underground, so maybe the retail space was a little bit less expensive, and it was in Gwangali Beach instead of Haeundae Beach, which tends to be more expensive. As always, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to my Patreons and channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.